So once again, I want to say good afternoon to everybody. And I want to warmly welcome you to the second edition of this webinar, tagged OGCERA bi-monthly session. We are glad to have in the house once again the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, our leader, Professor Abayomi A. Aribabu. You are most welcome on board, sir. We'll be talking today on a very important topic that has to do with the effective functionality of the OGCERA. There are challenges complain of a particular data of a learner or a school that needs to be corrected or needs to be changed. So today's program is going to focus on two major issues: changing of data requests and LIN generation for public and private schools in the state. So let me request you to join me as I welcome formally the Honorable Commissioner for Science and Technology on board, who will be speaking to us on those two important aspects of the Ogun State Education Digitalized Platform, popularly known as OGCERA. So good afternoon, sir, and you are welcome on board, sir. I want to use the floor to the Honorable Commissioner to take charge for this presentation.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Well, first of all, let me start by asking, can you see my screen that I'm sharing? Are you able to see my screen? Hello? 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 Hello?
Hello, sir. We can see you, sir. We can see your screen, sir.
You can see my screen. Okay, yes. So,
yes,
and you can hear me very well. Okay, loud and clear. Okay.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear, sir.
Good evening. Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you have joined us. The last time we actually had a presentation on the LIN. We spoke at length about LIN, the importance of LIN, and then we hinted maybe take care of this. Part of which is the fact that we have made it impossible for schools or SPAs to further generate LIN. So when there is any request for LIN now, it will be sent to the ministry via the platform, and then it will be processed, it will be checked. If there are no duplications, it will be processed and sent to me, and then we'll be able to give an approval, and that is when the LIN will be generated. This afternoon or this evening now, we want to look at some other issues still related to the digital platform for educational revitalization that we're using. If you remember, we said requests will have to be made for generation of LIN. This request will be validated and then we'll then approve. So we'll take you through the process, how we now do it. It's important to remember, if I just also remind you that the digital platform for education revitalization, though people now use the two interchangeably, OGCERA, this and that, but the DIPA is the digital platform of OGCERA, the digital platform that we use to drive OGCERA. Is actually supposed to help us to make the number of things easy for us in the education sector. Make data collection easy, to make updating of data easy, to make analysis easy, and to make it easy for us to actually draw inferences and then make decisions, decisions that are based on data. Those are some of the things that we use the platform for. Of course, government, most of the time, we want to take decision on certain things that we don't have valid and reliable data. So for us to have data that will not be dependent on who is collecting it, because a number of times when you ask that data should be collected, depending on who is collecting the data, that will determine the veracity or the reliability of data. So we actually wanted a situation whereby we'll be able to get data that will be accurate. We have decided to put in place a process through which we'll get this type of data. And that led to appointment of SPAs in school portal administrators. Because if we ask everybody to be coming to the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology in Abeokuta, only God knows how many days, how many months, and probably, let me say, years, that it will take us to start generating LIN, for instance, or uploading or syncing data from the headquarters. That was why we actually took the decision to have SPAs, that is school portal administrators, at the school level, and then we have ZPAs, that is the zonal portal administrators. Those are the ones that we have in the zonal offices, which we call the local government offices. So normally SPAs are supposed to help make this process very easy for us, being the ones very close to the immediate environment, especially the learners and then the records in school. They should work under the instruction of the principal and head teachers, primary school head teachers and secondary school principals. But they are to ensure that there is accurate data. In other words, we want to be sure of the integrity of the data that we collect. The situation whereby the data lacks in integrity, then it makes it difficult for us to be able to use it for the purpose for which we have actually put this portal in place. So learner profile record is now collected and created through the request for LIN on the DIPA of Oxera, and we're using the elimination of duplicate LIN from schools through structure validation and approval process. So what I'm saying here is that now we try to ensure that there are no duplications, because like I said at the last presentation, we have situations whereby some SPAs or some schools have deliberately manipulated to generate more than one LIN for some learners. So that has made the data unreliable, because the situation whereby a learner has two LINs, it means that learner will appear 2 times and we'll be counting that learner twice. So for us, we need to clean that data, and it's not difficult to do that, but the only thing is that it will require some efforts. But in doing this, we also need you to also cooperate with us. We are going to come out with some measures to sort this one out very soon. But right now, if you have to change any data and you request for change of data, and if you want to generate LIN, either in public school or private school, then there has to be a process. You have to actually make a request and wait for that request to be approved. So, and in this case, it will have to be approved by the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology. So that we don't have further abuse of the platform. So schools are already requesting for LIN for learners that already have LINs from other schools. I mean, we're already having that type of situation whereby some schools now will still be asking for that they want to generate LIN for a learner that already has one LIN or even have more than one LIN, particularly in from private schools. And even in some public schools, we have situations whereby some learners in private schools are also being, some learners in private schools are also being, they are also being, just hold on, please. Hold on, please. So, like I said, so I mean, we find out that schools are also requesting for LIN for learners that already have LINs. I mean, that one is dubious as far as we are concerned, and I will feel that there is no need to either alter data or alter the arrangement of names, or it will not allow you to generate LIN for the same person whose data you bring again. It will just tell you this person will have generated a LIN. But in the process to generate LIN for that person at all costs, people now manipulate the data so that they can generate another LIN. They can at times even change surname to first name and so on and so forth. So, but the danger in all these things is that if you change somebody's surname, for instance, for first name, or you change the date of birth, or you change gender, or you do anything, I'm hoping that you'll be able to change, correct that later. We won't give room for some of these things again because of the abuses we have observed. So we are in the process of ensuring that we clean our data, and all of us are to cooperate with us as well. So parents and SPAs are using transfer from outside the state to circumvent the usage of LIN on the inter-school transfer platform, because they know that this person doesn't have LIN. Now say, oh, it's from outside the state. Well, let me tell you that even for that, we are already putting machinery in motion to run a sort of triangulation to check. So we now check LIN through validation before approval on this inter-school transfer platform. So we don't just grant it without having to check. So if truly this person is from out of school, sorry, out of state, then we can actually confirm if that person's data actually existed before. So LINs have been generated for learners with no identity and reserved by schools for the assignment to new learners. That's one of the fraudulent things that people have done. It's like they just put in fake names to generate LIN, and then when the real person comes, they now want to replace it because we have been allowing them. So I want to tell you that all those type of things are now things of the past. It will be very difficult for you to do that type of thing, because once we finish this process we are doing, we will not even go back to a situation whereby we allow schools to be generating the LIN themselves because of the abuses that we have seen. We have to submit your request, we check it, and then we approve it for you. So, and apart from once in a while, it might necessitate some physical approach to check some of these things. We just do some random and then we check. So, arising from the above, there is a difference in LIN generated for school and the actual learners in the school. In some schools, the difference are in hundreds and thousands. You can imagine when you generate LIN, 2 LINs for a learner, and you have it done in about 20, 30 places, even in the school, then you already have about double. If the school is supposed to be 100, then you already have 120, 130 as the figure in that school. And by the time you have that in 2, 3 schools or 4 schools, then you're already having it in hundreds and so on. So those are some of the things that we are trying to work against, and we want you to cooperate with us in this regard. Now, the need for change of data, people request for change of data. Ordinarily, one should grant that without any problem. But we know some of these things are actually to cause some unnecessary duplication. So cases of misspelled learners details requiring genuine updates. If truly it is a genuine one, yes, it can be handled, but at least we have to check. Now, this request will be made and we have to go through. So, we have noticed requests for data update from schools with intention to replace the identity, to replace the no identity LIN with new learners to fill the reserved place. So, like I said, it just leaves something that you can just say a place filler or placeholder, put somebody there, or put just a fake name there. So when the real person comes, they now want to change it and put that person there. So we won't be granting that type of thing. So, and the request will be more rigorous. Request for change of data is structured to go through validation and approval process. So it has to go through validation and it has to go through approval before we grant it for you. Once a request for data update is approved, the data changes will reflect on the learner's records across the Oxera deeper. In other words, if you have a request, you say there should be data updates. If it is approved, the changes that is made will reflect on the learner's record uh, across the Oxera deeper platform. So, change of data request. You know, SPAs or individual learners can make requests for a change of data ordinarily. You know, that is the way we have actually structured things. We can make requests to change certain details like date of birth, to change name, to change religion, to change class, to change gender, to change state and local government, and to even change your passport. So, but what are the requirements for applying for change of data? For you to apply for change of data, we need certain verifications to be done. Um, you, you need any of the following. There is need to provide the learner's birth certificate. The learner's birth certificate will have to be provided. So this will be merged with the names to avoid duplication. So we'll check it. System will check with the names on the system, in the database. So then we also need learner's result. That is the result in the last 3 terms. So if somebody is applying for change of even somebody is applying for change of data, then we want to see the result of that learner in the last 3 terms. If if the request is made in the first time, we want to see first term, second term, third term result of the last examination. So the we use this one to validate the previous academic records of that learner. Now, change of data request and approval process. We are still on that. The school will log in to their profile on the Oxera Deeper platform. That is how to make this change now. You log in onto the Oxera Deeper platform, initiate a request for change of data. You say, okay, you make a request that you want to change data. Okay, then the authorized OGMES official will assess the validity of request and push for approval. So like I said, it's no longer something that you can just sit in the corner of your room and then you do that. So now you have to make a request and send it to the Minister of Education, Science and Technology, and then that person will push it further to the Honorable Commissioner, and then will now grant approval. So when the approval is granted, the school will be notified. The school will be notified that the admission approval has been granted, and then you can go ahead to effect it. So through this process now, we are sure that we will no longer be having unnecessary duplication of data and then LIN generation on the Oxera Deeper platform. So in handling this presentation, I'm going to actually allow for demonstration, a demo. A demo will be made to let you see how we go about all these things that I've explained. Of course, there will be opportunity for people to ask questions, and if you have been putting questions in the chat box, they will look at it, and then we can have responses to this. But in ending this presentation, and then you actually have to watch the demo. But in ending this presentation, I want to say that what we are doing is a collective responsibility on all of us to make sure we have accurate data that will inform decision making. When we put data that are not accurate, when we lie, when we manipulate records, when we generate two IDs for learners and so on, then it becomes problematic, and we are going back to the old days where informed decisions are taken without actually having having data to back it up. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to encourage you to cooperate with us, to support us in this process, and then make sure we have a digital platform that can actually help us to solve the problems that we have in the education sector. And so I will yield to the I will yield to Ms. Thompson to make a presentation, a demonstration for all of us to see. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir.
Over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay.
We quickly move straight to the demo on the processes required of us in effecting data requests. This particular request has been in operation for private schools. They are already familiar, some are already familiar with this procedure. And to effect this on our portal, the school SP, as said earlier by the Honorable Commissioner, it is required that the SPA log in to the school portal as displayed here. We are already familiar with this, and having launched the landing page. Firstly, it is important that the SPA or the learner who want to effect change must be certain and rightly assured that the LIN, the right LIN of the learner to work on is gotten. Otherwise, the person will be working on another learner. And how do we assure we get the right LIN? The SPA is locate the profile management on the portal, locate manage student, which is the database of all the learners in the school. For example, if the learner I'm looking for here is Adeneko Abdullahi, the LIN is here, you can either write the LIN out, but preferably it is strongly advised that the LIN is copied from the managed student module to avoid error. This is important. Having gotten the LIN correctly, as it is done here, I copy the LIN for the learner, and immediately, shortly after, this is next to the profile management module, is change of data request module. You click on data, change of data request, a sub-module is displayed, which is make request. So you click on change request. This is the page where you effect the change of data request on learner's record. Quickly, I want to give us overview of what we have here. As school, you can filter to see category of learner that have processed, either the approved one, the one that are yet to be approved, or either the decline request. That is on the status. Here we have the pay history. Pay history is where you verify your payment history, check through the payment history. And at the lower part is the first one speak to the original data that you have before this data is being submitted for data update. So this category speaks to on original data, while what you have submitted for approval is what is on the side of the edited data. So now, going straight to making your request, you're already on this page. You click on the green colored button with inscription of add learners with LIN. Let's recall that we are making requests on the learner. Add learners with LIN. it will fetch the page for us to input the learner's identity number. Recall that I copied the LIN area, so I'm pasting the LIN. I'm not typing. If you are sure of the number, you can type. But in this case, I copied and pasting to be rest assured that I am working on the correct learner. So this is the learner's record. It shows the details on the learners, the full names of the learner. If, for example, if you have made mistake earlier in the LIN you copy, so at this point, this gives room for the SPA to be sure, or the learner who is making that request, that, oh, the learner I picked, the learner found here is Adeneko Abdullahi, whereas I'm not working on Adeneko Abdullahi. So meaning that you have to go back and get the right LIN. So this learner I'm speaking to, who I want to work on for data updates. These are the original data that was previously supplied. A note is here, please confirm your details before you create an account. That I just said earlier. So if you are sure of this data, then you confirm by clicking on yes, it is me. Having confirmed that, if you are ready to make payments, you proceed by clicking on make payment. You can still go back if you are not sure. But once you are sure, then you proceed by clicking on make payment. So the make payments for data update, the service require payments of 500 naira per transaction. So now proceed to make payments. So here it will fetch you the account details where the payment will be done. We are all familiar with the processes of making transfer and making payments on the OGSerra portal. So having made the payment, as I said earlier, we can equally requery the option. I want to go back to the module again. So for example, if I have made this payment, the pay history, this icon is made available for us to requery to confirm the payment we've done, either it was successful or not. If the payment has been made successfully, so this is the bank where you made the payment. Payment will be done to this bank account. Then click on continue with transfer. It will now fetch you the account details. So this is the account where the payment will be made on this learner. And if you have several learners, you can equally make bulk payments at once, so that each time you come over, the system automatically approve that payment. And once the payment has been approved, has been made and yet to be approved, we only come to the payment history. As I clicked earlier, pay history. You click on the navigation button against the particular payment you just made and click on check status. If the payment was made, it will be approved, as we can see in this case. So in this case now, as I earlier said, I've given details on the original data that was submitted, as well as the edited data. So what do we do? Having made the payment and the payment is approved, we have this status changed to processing. Then you click on make your request. So this is change info update. It is required that SPA click on change info. As the is that all the records that are wrong are corrected using this measure. This is so because every transaction, record update, payment that was done will be based on every transaction. And as such, it is advisable that you correct all the data, not for you to correct the surname today. Okay, the learner made complaint on the surname. You requested for that, and you came up. The learner appeared another time that you have error on date of birth. You will be making another payment on for the that transaction. As such, that's why I'm advising that we have correct data. We use the avenue of this update to correct all the data that are not valid. So every data are open for the SPE or the learner who is making request to update. You change the surname as Gloria Gemin Akorede. I want to chip in this, and the Commissioner earlier said it in his presentation, that data update only catered for effecting typographical errors, wrong arrangement of names, wrong date of birth. It does not support abstract replacement of learner. And surname in this respect is not welcome. Surname has its legal implication, as we all know. And as such, if you have requests in changing surname, the ministry already has measure that address that. And that is for the learner to approach the ministry in writing. Correction in change of names with relevant documentations. So surname, changing of surname is not accepted on data update. It is solely meant for change in typographical errors, wrong arrangement of names. So having correct this, date of birth, we effect this as appropriate. Gender, if it is not correct, click on it, make effect. Religion, choose religion as appropriate. State of origin, you change the state of origin, and the local government of origin will pop up for you to select as appropriate. Then you click on the local government. The address is equally important, as we are aware in the request for LIN. It is part of the required data. So we fill this as well. And the passport of the learner is equally a required. That was said by the Honorable Commissioner earlier. So it is expected that the SP should click on the browse file and locate wherever the passport is saved on the system and fixed. It is important that the passport being uploaded here must not be more than the platforms or that their submitted request is not submitting. This is because the passport being submitted exceeded 1 MB. This equally concerns the proof of data updates. Please let's ensure that data being submitted does not exceed 1 MB. After having fixed the passport, we move to the class information. Then click on the appropriate class of the learner. If erroneously, for private schools in this case, they earlier sync the learner into wrong class, and you are requesting for data updates in this respect, you choose the appropriate class before submission. you run through your submission again. And lastly, to be is strongly believed that the birth certificate will have the details on the correct data on the learner, and as such, the SPA or the learner who is requesting for this update will choose file to upload the correct file on the learner to fill, to submit in this respect. Once again, the passport size on this request must not be more than 1 MB. So you choose the passport as appropriate. Having done this, lastly, I want to advise that once you make your request, you go over your submissions again to be sure that what you submitted earlier is error-free. Because once the submission is made, then you cannot make any alteration on it again. So in this case, I'm using, for example, so then you now click on update data. That is the submit button. Submit button in this respect. Click on update data. You can see I've not fixed a Hello. Yes. The presentation just concluded was on ensuring that the submission made is confirmed by the SPA before the submission is made on data updates. And quickly, I want to run over this again. I started that in effecting data request on the portal, the SPA, you click on the profile management, move to change your data request, and find a sub-menu of make request. This takes us to the landing page, and the SPA, having confirmed the LIN on which the request is being made. Earlier, I've submitted this request, and so running through it again, the SPA will click on add runners with LIN. As I said earlier, that it is important that the record is copy. The LIN is copy and not written out. But if the person is rest assured of what has copied is right, then they can proceed. So click on add runners with LIN. At the field that requires learner's ID, the SPA or the learner who is effecting this change, you click on the field and input the LIN of the learner, and then click on search. This is to fetch the database of the learner whose request is being made upon. The details of the learner will pop up for us to confirm, to double check that is this the learner you are working on? Are you actually making a request in correcting details on the learner? If you are sure, then you click on yes, it is me. Then click on make payment. The payment requires, the service requires a charge of 500 naira, and then you click on proceed to make payment. As I said earlier, I want to advise that the SPA or the learner who is making this request confirms that the data being corrected is confirmed, is verified, and effected all at once. I mean that if you don't have to come up today to correct the names, come up tomorrow to correct date of birth, or come up tomorrow to correct, next tomorrow to correct the religion. No, it is advisable, though that is equally tenable, but it will be costing you. Rather, it is advisable that you effect all the data at once. So having click on that and click on continue with transfer, it will now fetch you the details on the account number where the payment will be made. And here you have to make a transfer into the Wema Bank account, the wallet of this that has been generated in your name. The wallet will be generated in the names of the user. So be rest assured that the account is genuine. So make the payment into the account number. Once the payment is made, then click on waiting for confirmation. And for those of us who have been making transfer activities on our portal, we are aware with the processes. Once you do that, then come to the data request page. I'm reloading my page so as to access the page again. So having made the payment earlier, as I earlier said, that a payment that is made, we equally have the room to verify, to ascertain, to see the history of the payment made so far. In this case, we made the payment. You come to the payment history to see the history, and you can requery the payment against each payment you've made. You click on the navigation button, click on check status. So this will require the payment. Once payment is made, it is turned to approved. If the payment has been made successfully, as you can see, approved in this case. And once it is approved, then the system will permit us to change information on the learner. As I earlier said, that there are two data here. We have the data on the request that was submitted and data on we have the information on the original data and the edited data. The record initially was B. Temin Korede in this case, and it is being suggested. What we are suggesting is at the edited data section of the page. So SPA is to click on change info, the colored purple icon, to change the learner's information. This will pop up for us. As I said earlier, it is advisable that every information as regards that learner is corrected at once, so that you're not be coming every time to effect change on the learner. The ministry is not interested in us coming to effect this. So it corrects all the data, change the name as appropriate. So change the name, surname, first name, other name, date of birth, gender, religion, choose as appropriate, state of origin, choose as appropriate. Once you do that, the LGA will pop up, LG of origin of the learner, and then we now move to choose the passport photograph of the learner. I want to state that it is important that we verify the passport being attached, and the minimum file size of the passport must not exceed 1 MB. It has minimum file size. So we must ensure that the passport and the proof of data being submitted in this respect must not exceed 1 MB, because we've received requests, complaints on the platforms that is always loading and the request was not submitted. This is because the passport being submitted exceeded the expected size, and the note has been written here to alert us that the passport must not exceed 1 MB. So in this case, locate the passport size, choose the passport, choose the learner passport, change the address of the learner. As I said earlier, maximize the opportunity to effect every data on the learner's record. Change the class as appropriate, and if it still remain, then retain the learner's class. And lastly is the proof of data update. As earlier said by the Honorable Commissioner, the requirement for proof of data is birth certificate. In this case, birth certificate and learner's results, either of the two, birth certificate or learner's results, depending on the request being made. If your request is on name, then it will be birth certificate. Then if it is on the class changing, then it will be learner's results. Having done this, I want to advise that we go over our submission again to be rest assured that what we are submitting is error-free and that we've made the appropriate correction. Then click on update data. I don't feel this. click on update data. The types of file that you can submit here can be PDF, document, JPEG, or PNG. You can submit any of those files. Those are the types of files that are expected for submission. And having fixed that, we now click on update data, which is the submit button. Update data. Having done this, the system will confirm from us that are we sure what we are doing, and click on yes, that you are sure. And this will be submitted. If it is not submitted, it is loading. That means that the passport or the proof of data update which you submitted earlier exceeded 1 MB. And having done this, the status will change to processing. And once this request has been approved by the ministry, by the appropriate officers who are checking, then it should change to approved, as you can see on earlier approved request on the portal. So once the request is approved, it's changed globally on the runner's record. Then the runners will continue to use the runner's record as for whatever transaction it's required to be used for. So that is where we halt for now. Thank you very much.
Yes, I said I want to inform participants this afternoon that we'll be entertaining questions or further clarification from any one of us that has any. The commissioner is still here with us, waiting to attend to our questions and further clarification. Thank you.
Yes, as part of the question being received here, that how much are we paying for each learner? The data updates require the service of the payment of 500 naira per transaction to effect data update. 500 naira per transaction. So once you follow the procedure and click on the make payment as I showed earlier, that will fetch us the amount payable. Thank you. Other questions will be answered on the platform.
Yes. If you have any other questions, let's take them because we want to round up this section as quick as possible. But I want to assure you that all questions and observations that were raised on the platform, we will provide answers to them via the chat room. Thank you. Okay, go. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to appreciate your participation for this second edition of this webinar. We've been talking all along on process that is involved in changing of data on the platform, on digital platform. As much as possible, I want to reiterate the remark by the Honorable Commissioner that this process or this situation requires all our efforts. It is a collective responsibility to ensure that we have a reliable data for school management in Ogun State. So we all have a role to play, and I want to appeal that we should contribute, or we should ensure that our roles are actually, taken care of, so that we can continually have a reliable data for school management in Ogun State. So in absence of further questions, I want to seek the permission of the Honorable Commissioner that we should call this meeting we should end this meeting for today. And I want to appeal that in another fortnight, we'll be coming up again for the third edition of this training. So on behalf of all the participants, I want to appreciate the Honorable Commissioner for providing this opportunity for us, particularly on behalf of school administrators, school owners that are yet to understand the process and the nitty-gritty of this digital platform. We want to appreciate your efforts, sir, and your time. We know you are very busy, but despite that, you still make time available for us to talk to us, to enlighten us, to create more awareness about this platform. We appreciate you so much, sir. So to all our participants, we also appreciate you for coming up, and we look forward to see you during the next presentation. Thank you all, and God bless.